This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
This is John Sander. You're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Right, let's kick off this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. Welcome to everybody. Thanks for joining us and thanks for your continued support. We're still getting great figures of people watching and listening. So thank you for that. It's really appreciated. I'm welcoming again once more Steve Risley, my fellow pontoonite, to the pod this morning. Morning, Steve.
Morning, David. How are we doing?
Morning after the day before. Overall, a good day at the finish, I think.
It was, yeah. I'm a little bit hoarse this morning.
There was a bit of shouting going on yesterday, wasn't there?
There was a lot of shouting and singing going on, wasn't there? It was great atmosphere.
But great atmosphere. I think from our perspective, it had the feel of a big game, didn't it? It had the stadium's pretty smart, although it's largely empty. When you go in and you're at ground level, but once you get inside the ground, you're looking down into this sort of bowl. It's sort of mini big stadium like, isn't it?
We said about before the game outside. I said, it doesn't look huge, but then you go in, it's like a mini new camp.
Yeah, well, I hadn't realised the new camp's at ground level and then goes down.
Yeah, you walk around the outside of new camp. You glance. When I was there, you glance in and you think, well, where's the pitch?
Yeah,
and it's right sunken down like.
And this is this is similar. And that's because I said to you, didn't I, outside? I said, not very big from the tall height wise. You expect it to be taller, and then of course all is explained once you get in. And although it was a game with nothing for them to play for, the fact that it was Dean Lewington Day, the shittest day ever, but never mind. But for them, it was something. It made for a decent atmosphere and a good crowd. 10-2-4-4, wasn't it, at the finish?
It was, yeah. And that Dean Lewington, I didn't realise how many games he played for them.
Yeah.
To be 900 and something. But for him, it was to have a decent away fans as well. Well, I know we did boo him when he went off, but
everything's panto, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it is, yeah. It was a very lovely stadium.
Yeah, and it made for the day, didn't it? At the finish, we came out of the ground feeling a bit despondent, and I don't know how many Town fans did this, but we bumped into others that were the same as us, didn't we? One of our number went to the little boys' room, and we sat at the table just pondering the position, thinking it was not in our hands anymore. And how did it play out from there?
Well, I said, we're looking at the table, and I'm thinking, oh well, we're not out of it. So if we win next week and Wimbledon lose, then we go above them. And you said, oh, if we win, they will lose because we're playing them. I was like, oh yeah.
But we hadn't factored in before the game because they played early, that they'd lost. Therefore, that's a game less, which means they've not gained any more points, and the opportunity for them is only 3 more points. But if they lose against us, that's only 71 they'll be on, and we'll be on 72. Is it 72? No, 72 we'll be on if we win. So, but then we said, oh no, but the Salford, if they win, then they'll go into the. I said, yeah, no, but there's another space being created by Wimbledon if we jump over them. Oh yeah, it's in our hands.
It was bizarre. Honestly, I did miss that one totally. And it was like, because we've been looking at Salford and Colchester and Chesterfield below us, and didn't factor in that I mean, the fact that Wimbledon had lost, if they'd won, then obviously it's a different game. But
Yeah, and
they'd lost, and we didn't tweak.
Apart from Colchester, they all had good wins as well. So we're all almost thinking we're
Yeah.
relying on others next week then now, aren't we? But no.
I had to convince my friend Paul. He texted me. He said, I said, we're still in it. It's still in our hands. He went, nope. He said, all our recent 2-2 draws have done us. I replied back to him, look again.
Yeah.
And he said, he went, didn't see that.
Yeah, it's all that. It's a fairly simple complexity, but it's a complexity nonetheless of teams playing each other, isn't it? The fact that a binary outcome, a win or a lose, means that the other one can't win. So, yeah,
well, that's it. It's a lot of teams playing each other this last week. A few games,
and it makes for the swings and roundabouts seem to be a lot harsher, don't they?
Yeah, but we didn't realise we're sat there just waiting for Brad, and they're like, "Oh, we can do this."
And then we bumped into 3 lads near the car, and we're like, "Oh,
yeah,
we're still in it, are we? Are we? Yeah. Oh yeah, we are. Yeah, yes. We're all up again."
Yeah, because I knew one of the lads, Callum, and he said, "I said no. If we beat Wimbledon, we go above them." He went, "Oh, you just made my day." I went, "Oh, cheers."
So it then, when you look back on it, makes for a decent point, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the results we've had, I was still in our hands with one game to go. It's balmy.
Yeah, as I said to you yesterday, all them games where we won 4 on the trot and won 7 out of 8 away games or whatever, we were stuck in 8th or 9th and could not move out.
No.
And then we get a draw after losing it against Swindon the week. We drop back pop back into the top 7, and you think it's bizarre. All them points we pick up and don't go anywhere, and then you get a point because everybody else loses. And
it's fantastic to get to the last game
for another week running. There's only a couple of teams at the top 1, and the top 2 it turns out, and they've got themselves promoted. So congratulations to Doncaster and Port Vale for their promotion yesterday. I think anybody who's gone and grabbed it in this season, the way it's gone, deserves it. I mean, you can't argue with that really.
No.
And to think we were 1-1 with Doncaster, so we lost at home and won away. And Port Vale, we took 4 points off them to their 1. They took off us. It's a decent return from them sides. And in years gone by, we've not done great against teams above, have we?
No. Well, that's the progress we've made this year. And that's from last season when we're losing to Donny and we're losing to Walsall, and we're losing to Port Vale. And this season we beat them. And you've got actually beating teams above us.
Bradford and Walsall sweating on each other's results next week. Bradford's got it obviously in their hands, and then you've got Walsall, obviously, who have an amazing stat from one of their fans. I saw their initial reaction after the Accrington game yesterday. Cracking goal, by the way, to win that game against Accrington.
I saw that. Yeah, you showed me that. Yeah,
Walsall 0, Accrington 1. They've won 2 games in 20 of Walsall, which shows how far they were ahead at Christmas to still be 4th.
Yes. Yeah, well, if you'd said, like you just said, Port Vale and Doncaster just have been promoted.
Yeah.
If you said 20 games ago, or 15, 20 games ago, Walsall won't be the first team to go up.
Yeah. You'd have laughed at the person talking to you, wouldn't you?
They're miles ahead.
I've done another bit of analysis on their recent form. So let's be a bit kinder and cut it down to the last 13 games. And in fact, it's not kinder, but it won none, drawn 8, lost 5, scored 13, let in 20, 8 points from a possible 39.
You can't understand what's gone on there, really, apart from that low going back, losing one player.
But one player, you would have thought the rest of the system would have worked still, wouldn't you? Unless teams have worked them out and said, without that.
Their tactics, they let you have the ball, don't they?
And
and maybe we worked them out that day. We beat them 3-1.
Yeah.
We played a blinder that day, so maybe they have been worked out and they haven't got the second plan B.
Yeah, and then they've lost the main sort of thrust of goal scoring. But big.
Well, for them. Just going back, this is it. Like Grimsby, we've got so many different goal scorers.
Yeah,
we're not relying on one player.
But we've got Rose on a decent tally, haven't we? If he gets one next week, he'll be on his best ever league return, 15.
Yeah, but a few weeks ago, I had a quick look. I meant to say there was 16 different scorers for Town this year.
Yeah.
And that's good for the whole team.
Yeah, and you've got Green's got quite a few, hasn't he? Harvey Rogers has got a good few. Swan Thorson's got a few. Yeah, everybody's chipped in. Yeah, Corey started chipping in as well. Although we could have done with him chipping in yesterday at that chance at the end.
Yes, but he should have scored that last minute.
Yeah, I think as I think it was Brad said, he'll know as much as anyone. But the thing that broke me out yesterday was poor little Jason Swan Thorson. He was absolutely gutted, wasn't he?
He was still on his own near the centre circle, and there was nobody with him, and you could see he was upset.
Yeah. He didn't want anybody to console him. I think he just thought, I want a bit of time on my own here. But just shows you what it means to him, doesn't it?
Yeah, surprised how upset he was, because and in the end, all the players come towards the fans, and we were trying to.
It's the fans that go, come on, lift yourselves, lads.
Yeah,
We've done all right. We're happy. Well, we were disappointed, but we were happy that we.
Yeah. Well, they'll see that.
The efforts. Yeah.
No, it's good. In the end, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Decent point away.
Good point. Clean sheet. And back to the game. Best probably couple of chances fell to Town. Although Eastwood made a good save in the first half, that was dipping. Maybe it may have hit the bar, may have just skimmed in. I don't know, but it was certainly a decent save. He had a cracking game again, but Green hitting the post from that free kick. That was a well worked free kick, wasn't it? Looked like they were going to get McEachran to have a shot, and then Greeny just thought, I'll try and whip it around the near post. That struck the post, and then Corey's chance right at the end there, where he just sort of dragged it just a bit too far, didn't he?
Yeah, he should have. We were right behind it, and he should have. Well, it's easy for us to say that should have put it in, but
that's what pressure is, isn't it? And
like
I say,
that's the only thing we get. Yesterday, we never had a shot on target.
Yeah,
that was a disappointment.
Yeah,
we had a lot of good play, but didn't get anywhere. Hit the post. So that doesn't count as a shot on target, though, does it? The post.
It's a little bit weird, isn't it? You think that would count as a target? You are trying to hit the target there, aren't you? Or close to. No, so it's a decent point at the end. We're now 8th, with the opportunity to go to 6th if we, in the best case scenario, I think, isn't it?
If we win next Saturday, and Salford lose,
and
we can go.
Yeah, and if we end up in 7th, we'll play 4th, and if we end up 5th, we'll play 6th, or 6th, we'll play 5th. Sorry.
So we could still be playing anybody.
Yeah.
Bradford, Walsall, County.
Yeah.
If we get in the playoffs, that is.
Yeah. And all things are possible. We were saying beforehand the permutations this season, that we end up in the last game of the season with it still in our hands to make the playoffs. I think it's been very much said by everybody, every pundit, every manager interview I've heard in the last day or two said, we'd have taken this at the start of the season. Absolutely, we would. And I think it's more than anybody expected.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't have got this. I thought it was going to be where sort of Swindon are now, sort of 13th or.
Yeah. You'd have said mid-table progress, wouldn't you, this season?
Yeah. So we can't finish lower than
10.
What was it now? 10? Yeah, 10th.
Yeah.
10th is so it'll be our highest league position for 20 odd years, isn't it?
And when you put that into context, it really does show what a good season it's been. And if you take the backdrop of the squad decimation we've had at times, I mean, you have 5-6 strikers at the club, and you've had one fit for the big chunk of the last 6-8 weeks, the real business end of the season. Absolutely phenomenal. No midfield for sort of the back end of 2024. It's just it beggars belief how we're in the position that we are.
Well, I see. David Artell said it's bonkers where we are with the amount of injuries we've had, and we were saying yesterday with the team, we've not got the best players probably in the league. You look at MK Dons; they've got some really good players, and other clubs as well. But we've got the team, and our team is so together, and you can hear that in the interviews.
Yeah,
that they know they're not the best players, but together they've pulled pulled together this season has been immense.
Yeah.
And you can see that, you can hear that in the interviews. You can hear Eastwood's interview and all the interviews.
Yeah,
They've got a good bond.
Yeah, no, it's a good good thing to note, and I think there's a lot to be said for how the club's set up in that way. And David Artell's talked about that in the fans forum and other times about them have it, some of the ones that are from away who lived in shared housing in Cleethorpes, and that it really does help them bond, and bringing people like Jason and Geezer into the mix and helping them settle, and it's all good stuff, and it's all bonding. I think they even took him over to Iceland, didn't he, as well? They've had lots of bonding opportunities. Although that one was the week when we lost to Barrow, and it didn't seem like a great idea to go away for a few days before the Barrow game, did it, at the finish? But it was a very bad blip. But since then,
Can't get everything right.
We've been on a reasonable run of form since then.
Yeah, just that everybody's pulled together, haven't they? And so we've had one fit striker, really. For we've had a big crew in Rose for a few games, isn't there? And then it's been.
But that was the first time in ages we'd had two, wasn't it? I mean, that was you've had Pike and Wilson. You almost forget this season from the barely. I think Donovan Wilson played a couple of games, hasn't he? But that's about it. I don't remember Pike playing this season. May have come on early in the season.
I think he played one game.
Yeah,
I think he's early in the season. I think he started a game. I think. But a big crew came on yesterday. He did all right.
Yeah.
He struggled to get in the game a bit.
Yeah, when he I thought he grew into the game. But when you've got 20, 25 minutes or whatever it was, you don't have that long, do you? And it's tough. But when he started to get in behind the defence a couple of times, and I thought Jason Van Thorson had a great game again yesterday.
Oh, he was superb. He never stops running. He's
so,
got skill level.
Creative, isn't he? How he can get round people and go outside him, inside him. He got us free kicks just around the edge of the box, although we wasted one of them, didn't we? When we had a chance to whip a ball into the danger area, we ended up back in the centre circle somehow.
I don't know what happened in that free kick. Hume decided to pull it back to McEachran. And McEachran didn't want it, I don't think. But,
there was that. But
Van Thorson, he just glides. He just glides, and he does take it too far sometimes. But he's got a lot better.
But when you do that, you kind of put the ball at risk a little bit, but allow your skill to get you to where you need to be. And it didn't know it was going to come off, but if it don't come off, it don't come off. We'd love to see that as fans, don't we? Just players trying stuff.
Yeah.
And he got more right than wrong, didn't he, yesterday? So
he did. Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the reasons he was upset. I think he gave his all again yesterday.
It's one of his best games I've seen, actually.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. And we didn't use a lot of subs yesterday. I was quite surprised at that, with especially the tiredness that looked like Green, and that was starting to cramp up at the end of the game, and McEachran. But we didn't have a lot of midfield on the bench, did we? In terms of Callum Ainley, but he hasn't seen a lot of action this year, and he's, with the best will in the world, he's not the most dynamic midfielder we've got.
No, he used only one sub, wasn't it? A big one, the options were a bit limited, weren't they? Really?
Yeah. Because Jordan Davies' back's injured now, and he's got his back injury in, and Jaden Luke has gone back to Luton again with a hamstring injury. So we might have seen the last of him this season, if not ever, if he doesn't come back on loan again.
Yeah. So they could have freshened it up. Maybe I thought that could use more subs, but Luke has gone back to Luton. Hopefully I liked him, but he probably won't be back again. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah.
A big crew. You never know.
Yeah.
He might be back next season.
And yesterday it was Adam Hertzeg, our old referee friend from the Wrexham game, and he had an okay game, but he had some bizarre free kicks one way and the other in the first half. They were a bit what?
He's not a very consistent referee.
No, he's not.
Gives a free kick for something, and then somebody takes somebody down. He don't give it. What are you doing?
The only thing with him, I'll say this for him in his defence, is usually as crap for both. He's not, like the Wrexham game. He didn't favour us.
No.
He was bad for both. And
you did. Yeah, you did. Well, you did well to spot it was him, because you just recognised his.
I spent so much time editing the Adam Summerton episode 15. By the way, if you want to go and have a look, it is a fantastic watch. Especially given that Wrexham we actually started Wrexham off on their journey. We made them stay in the National League one season longer to stew a bit more, to then come out as champions, allow them to come out as champions, and then get their back-to-back promotions. And congratulations to them as well. But I spent that much time editing that video. I know his every bloody movement, gait, the lot. I could just spot him straight away.
You and Alex, what's it there for? You know, Hertzig.
Yeah.
You do a Hertzig stalker.
Yeah, the Hertzig principle. Yeah.
Well, Wrexham have had back-to-back promotions 3 times.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
First time ever, apparently. I read somewhere. The league club's done it.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. Just looking at the other scores from yesterday, then we covered a couple of them a minute ago briefly. So it was Wimbledon 0, Port Vale 2 in the early kickoff. Doncaster 2, Bradford 1. A few red cards kicking about in them games as well. I noticed.
Yes.
Not in the Wimbledon game, but in the Donny game, there was a red card for Bradford at half time, pretty much.
Did you see that? Bradford sending off.
No, I haven't seen any of the footage.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It was after the half-time whistle had gone, and then Baldwin, Bradford player, he just went to the referee and he wouldn't let it go, something, and he was mouthing off. Referee booked him. Their goalie tried to pull him away, and he must have said something else, and the referee, that's it, yellow, red, and he was gone.
2 lemons
but
makes
I couldn't
a
see
strawberry.
Yeah.
Harrogate 1, Notts County 3. So we knew about that before we went in. There were 2-1 up, I think, when we went in, because that was a 1 o'clock kickoff on it. And then Barrow 3, Bromley 3. I don't think either of them had anything to play for much. Cheltenham 3, Carlisle 2. The news there is that sinks Carlisle, regardless.
Yeah.
And would have done it regardless of other results elsewhere. Because they were 4 points behind Tranmere, who won anyway. But so that's them down. Nothing to play for next week, and they're playing Salford. So how do you see that playing out? Because we could do with them sort of giving us an extra bit of space next week by beating Salford. Do you think they'll have any skin in the game next week to go out without a whimper?
I think they will. Yeah, Mike Hughes won't let them lie down. I think because they're at home, aren't they? I think.
Yeah.
Carlisle.
Yeah. Bit of pride at home last game of the season.
I think so, but Salford obviously will be desperate to win. So
yeah,
could be a tight game. Depends on what.
It could be nervy as well.
I think they're all going to be more nervous than we are.
I think the one thing is no one knows. You can't predict this league this year, can you?
No, absolutely.
Chesterfield 4, Morecambe, not Portman. Morecambe 1. So that was a comprehensive result that Chesterfield needed, and they're away at Accrington next week. Fleetwood 2, Newport 0. Interesting stat from this week. I saw Newport drew 0-0 last week against Walsall, and I thought, I reckon they've drawn 0-0 a lot, because they drew 0-0 against us. They've drawn 0-0 the week before. That's 3 in recent times. Yeah. So I looked up. They've drawn 7 games 0-0 this season. That's 15% of their matches 0-0.
Newport.
Yeah,
but they've scored a lot of goals, though, haven't they?
Yeah, but Newport, when they have won or been reasonably high scoring, but 7 0-0s.
That's a lot. That's a lot of 0-0s.
That's a lot of watching 0-0s, isn't it? And I think what was that? Our second, probably Newport and MK Dons. Don't remember any other 0-0s.
No. No, I can't remember any others. Very, very rarely I've seen a 0-0 game away. Normally somebody scores against us.
So, the game that we knew behind us was we were hoping for a draw. Salford, we were hoping for them to draw each other, but it was 4-1 to Salford. They were 3-0 up after, what was it? Not very long. 20 minutes, 21 minutes, 24 minutes.
24 minutes, so 3-0.
21, 24. Mr. Cowley had his tail between his legs after the game, as we heard an interview with him, didn't we? And Tranmere 2, Crewe 0. That's confirmed decent season for Tranmere. A bit like we had last year. Decent that they stayed up. But they were in a very similar position to we were last year. They've probably come through it quite comfortably at the finish, but it been nip and tuck along the way.
I think they could move on that next season, Tranmere, if they get decent. Have they got a permanent manager yet at the minute?
No, they took out a loan on Friday, or the news came out they've taken out a loan against property, and they're not sure whether that's to do with just the club trying to stay afloat or whether it's to do with the takeover. But our friend of the show, Kieran Maguire, was saying that they're losing 30 grand a week at Tranmere. So
30 grand a week.
Yeah, well, we probably lost more than that last year, but that was
But
another matter. And it's not necessarily all operating losses. There's all that legacy stuff from the Fenty era where we haven't got ground issues to sort out, steel work and stuff. And Walsall nil, Accrington 1, we've already covered. Walsall 2 in 20, none in 13. So yeah, of all the teams to play in the playoffs, you'd fancy playing a team in that sort of form, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've already beaten them at their ground.
Yeah.
So it's. I was just saying before we come on. I was saying about this game yesterday, being treating it almost like a first leg of a quarter final.
If you think about it, you're right. It had that sort of atmosphere for the Dean Lewington day, and the fact that we took a lot, and the ground and everything. It felt a bit like that, didn't it?
Yeah.
So fake dons in the first leg.
Yeah, fake dons at first leg, real dons in the second leg. I don't know if just thinking about it, if they realised that a draw would have made it, with the early result, Wimbledon losing.
Yeah, there might have been more over it. I just sensed that disappointment with them, that they felt it was now out of their hands. And the fans were telling them to lift themselves, but I mean, at that point, we didn't even realise, did we? So
we didn't realise it was still in our hands. So it's.
I don't know. I don't know if they knew or not. So,
but we set up yesterday slightly to not lose the game. And not having a shot on target, but we did look solid, and we stopped that Nemani.
Yeah.
He never got a look in until second half. Yeah.
Yeah, and last time I remember seeing him was that 3-2 game at Notts County, where he actually sort of saw Lennon off the Lennon off the pitch, didn't he?
Yeah, after half an hour. So I was worried about him yesterday, but we definitely set up well yesterday it did feel like a first leg game, and now we got a second leg, win it, and we're through.
Yeah, and I thought it was an okay game yesterday. It wasn't a boring snore draw. I didn't think particularly.
No,
it was tense. But it was competitive, and
I enjoyed the whole day. The good new stadium.
Yeah, nice day. Lovely warm weather, wasn't it? Shirt sleeves.
Got in the stadium and was with Brad, and he's just come back from Barcelona. And I said to him, he watched Barcelona. I said, is it as warm as this? He went, it's warmer here.
Yeah, but the sun was on us, wasn't it? With that bowl, it was really really good, wasn't it?
I just enjoyed the day. The journeys, a bit of a hold up going, but overall the day. And I got back and Lucy said, "Oh, all that way for 0-0." I said, "Yeah, but I said, we enjoyed it." And
park right next to the ground. 2-second walk for a beer. 2-second walk back to the ground. 2-second walk out to get back to the car, and what more can you ask for?
No, I thought it was a nice stadium. Just nice to see it a bit. Obviously we took 2,000. But which helps. But
nice
it deserves a bigger crowd, doesn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so it's all about next week now. Then sold out apparently already.
Is it sold out?
Yeah, there's not a ticket to be had apparently now.
Right.
So all those oddments that have been snapped up. David Artell said in the club version of the interview, he said, "Can the 2,000 who were there yesterday sit together next week?"
I know what you're saying.
And sing, but I don't think we'll have trouble finding our voice next week.
No, I thought it sounded really good yesterday. The acoustics and that, it sounded spot on. But no, I think everybody will get next week. Will be
and I think anybody who's not cheering will get a bollocking off the others that aren't cheering.
Yeah, full house at Blundell Park. What else can happen?
Yeah. But we've got to change it. We've got to change that. It's up to us to change it, isn't it? It's not. We can't blame anyone else for it.
We just want to get 3-0 up with half an hour gone.
Yeah. And the Wimbledon manager got sent off yesterday, so presumably he won't be on the bench. So hopefully that'll upset him a bit.
Yeah, for Wimbledon,
Yeah, and they're not on a great run either. So that's good too.
They're not either. Yeah, they're not. It's all stars are aligning.
Yeah, but it's not done till it's done. Let's look at Wimbledon. Yeah, they've not won in 4. We've not won in 4. So it's all to play for.
Yeah, Wimbledon. They've lost.
They've lost more of their
2.
recent games, haven't they? Yeah, we've
Yeah.
drawn 3 of our last 4, haven't we?
Yeah.
Harrogate,
but
Port Vale, yesterday, and Swindon. We lost 4-0.
Yeah, they've not won any in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah. Oh, sorry, they beat Harrogate.
Yeah,
beat Harrogate.
But say all that is incidental next week. It's all on. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Did you see? I think I sent you it. The Clifton clip of Harry Clifton is already hates Grimsby.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I've seen the clip of first bit of it. What was it? Let's have a look.
He's singing along to this song, and all these Doncaster fans are singing Harry Clifton already hates Grimsby. Now there's a school of thought that says he's saying Scunthorpe, but the jury's out for me on that. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him when I see him in the newsagents.
Yeah. Well, we did boo him off, didn't we? But he was upset about that.
Well, I think from my perspective, any booing for him was panto, but I understand there was a few giving him a bit of a dog's abuse.
Yeah,
that's a bit unnecessary, isn't it? I mean, I'd have him back tomorrow. And wish him an ill and congratulations to him for getting promotion. That's
I was going to say
presumably one of the things he wanted to do with his career.
That's his second promotion, isn't it? He got promoted with us.
Yeah.
So I think he's had a good season. He's been playing regular.
Yeah.
Well, whenever I see he's there playing, scored a few goals, hasn't he?
Yeah. And another ex-Town man who has gone up as champions is Jordan Cropper.
Oh, with Barney.
Yeah. Saw a tweet of his last night saying, "I enjoyed it so much the first time, I had to do it again."
Great, congrats to him.
Yeah.
Well, we might be playing Donny next year. You never know.
Well, you never know. And if Hull go down, Hull are in the bottom again, aren't they? The bottom 3.
Yeah, Hull lost to Luton, didn't they?
It would be there's quite a nice.
Not Luton, Derby.
Yeah, nice corridor of northern sides to make it a bit more like it was back in the sort of 80s and 90s, where you got all these sort of northern and Yorkshire sides in the table in the league together. Yeah.
And if we can get Scunny up there in the next 10 years, we'll be.
Yeah, as long as they catch up and we don't drop back, I'll be all right with that. But they're not guaranteed either. Coming out now, the Brackley were the champions. The game at Kings Lynn was the one that's messed them up. They had a poor performance, let a sloppy goal, fully standard sort of National League goal in cross header, and Kings Lynn won that game. And I think that sort of cost them the title then. And then Brackley have come on, won it, and they've got the playoffs now. And that's never easy, is it? Because the nerves jangle again. Everybody's up for it. They're the big team, so they're the one that's got the biggest target on the back. So
they'll be disappointed they haven't won the league.
Yeah,
they've been top sort of a few times. Yeah. So playoffs will be nightmare, aren't they?
Yeah,
bit of a lottery.
So it's all the focus is now to BP next week, and hopefully it won't be our last game of the season. It might elongate the podcasts even if we get into the playoffs to into the bit after the full season's finished. Let's hope we've got another couple of episodes to do after next week.
Oh God, hope so.
So we'll not make any predictions. We know what we need to do, and I think that's evident. So I think unless you've got anything else you wanted to add today, Steve, we'll call it there. Anything else before we go?
No, just looking forward to the last league game of the season, and then the playoffs, and hopefully we can finish 6th or 7th, I guess. So looking forward to it. Full house at Bundle Park. It's all to play for.
Come on then, one more time. Up the Mariners!
Up the Mariners!
Cheers all. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching or listening to tonight's show. You can catch us on YouTube, podcasts on Podbean or Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on our social media channels of Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's now known, TikTok and Facebook. Please like, subscribe and share at every opportunity. It helps us a lot.
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.